Welcome back, Advice Pod. My name is Kyle. Thanks for hanging out. This is Raysean and Jeremy. We're jumping into another Am I the Asshole today, and this one I have not read all of yet, but the title got me because I have a parent who is a teacher, and I'm sure they run into shit like this all the time. It says, am I the asshole for making a teacher leave the district? My daughter teacher. Guys, what did I say to you before we hit record on this segment? I said, this doesn't look like a very long post, but once I get into it, I'm going to be like, man, I guess we'll see how this person writes. And if their words and their sentence structure compute with my brain, hopefully they do. The first three fucking words, my daughter teacher. All right.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. My daughter teacher, parentheses. The lady is not even her personal teacher. She just her after school teacher. Is leaving teaching and sent me an email on how she feels. Am part of the reason because I asked her if she was mental and reported her to the principal for trying to, quote, help my daughter. I have two kids, 14-year-old male and a 6-year-old female. Now, the 6-year-old isn't my biological daughter. Her biological dad is in jail for the worst crime a person can commit against a child. So him being in her life is not an option. Her mother is an addict and left her in my care after being in a relationship for 3 years. I have been in the life of the 6-year-old since she was 9 months old. Her and my son have always gotten along, and we have always had a very good family dynamic. Now, in my daughter's school, the elementary school and middle school is combined. My daughter and son was staying for the after-school program in different classes because I work late. Now, I always pack extra snacks for my daughter for days I pick her up late, but she decided to share some with her friends. So she was hungry and decided to ask a teacher to ask if her brother has any snacks because she's not allowed to leave the class. The teacher asked her brother's name. My daughter tells her. She proceeds to ask my daughter if her brother is her cousin and tells my daughter that her brother can't be her brother because they have a different last name. My daughter tells her that's not true and tells her they live together. And the teacher decides to tell her that means I am not her father. Now, as a teacher, why would you have this conversation with another person's child? My daughter told me this, and after telling me this, I talked to the teacher, and she confirmed she said all of this and said she felt like my 6-year-old daughter should know this. And even if my daughter should know why, would a teacher think it's her place to discuss that? Plus, what if I were her stepdad or she took her mother last name? This is the fucking worst. Sure. This is probably the worst post we've ever read on the show, I think. This isn't even me having an inability to read, which I frequently show off on this show, but Jesus Christ. After my daughter asked me if I was her dad and was pretty distraught by it, I talked to the after-school teacher, and during our conversation, I got about heated and asked if she was mental. Then I reported this matter to the principal, who was pretty apologetic for the situation and reassured me that they would put my daughter in a different after-school section to minimize interaction with the lady and my daughter. How the fuck did that guy string those last 8 words together, but the rest of this has been so goddamn unreadable? Whew. I let the matter go, but apparently the principal decided to actually suspend her or something, and she feels like she was unjustly punished and has decided to stop teaching. Am I crazy, or is this lady a very weird teacher? This is an edit, but for her to be suspended, mustn't she have done something wrong previously to this incident? Oh my fucking God, guys. I'm so glad I just managed to, that was...
Dude, congratulations, Kyle. This is a big feat of accomplishment that
I feel like I just had a stroke
on the show. You were here. We've all witnessed it. That was terrible, and I do sincerely applaud you for being able to read that with some form of congruency that I could understand.
So let me just repeat the story back based off of what I got. This guy has a 6-year-old and a 14-year-old. The 6-year-old is not his biological daughter. He's basically adopted this from a previous relationship, okay? They go to school, same school. She asks if the brother has any snacks. The teacher's like, brother, you ain't got no brother. What the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, yes, I do. We live in the same house. well, you guys must not have the same parents or whatever. And that is kind of a weird conversation to have. Even if you have that question as a teacher, it should just seriously be like, oh, so-and-so's your brother? Oh, okay. And then like you look and like you see that they're listed at the same address or whatever, they live together. You don't fucking know a family's dynamic or how it goes. Who the fuck are you to say that to a 6-year-old? Whatever. You just get the piece of information and you move on with the day. That said, I don't think this guy's an asshole for, basically looking out for his adopted daughter and being like, hey, dude, why are you having these types of conversations with my kid? And I think
teachers do not have that conversation.
Yeah, it's just a strange thing to like push back on a child against. Like, I understand having the question, oh, you guys are related or whatever. And that's the end of the conversation. All right, let me go see if your brother has a stack. I saw that you shared your stacks earlier. That was very nice of you, 6-year-old girl. Let me shit on your parade now. You don't have no dad. You don't have your mom. It means you're an orphan.
Yeah, you don't tell someone how their relationship with their parents work because you don't even know them or this person. You don't know the situation. So zip it.
Shut the fuck up and be a positive role model at after school class or whatever. Oh, by the way, after school classes? More classes after class? Damn, dude, where do you live? Hell?
Disgusting.
Ray, what do you think, man? Is this guy an asshole? Is this teacher an asshole? Do you want to fight the teachers with me? This is a teacher punching show today, apparently.
I would fight a teacher with you any day of the week upon request.
Do you have an upward age cutoff for the teacher that you're willing to beat up?
No.
Word. Because a lot of my friends, they're kind of pussies about it. They're like, he's 69, 70, 80 years old. I'm like, yeah, bitch. And what?
My grandpa was an 89-year-old retired teacher, and I beat the shit out of him the day before he died.
See, this is the kind of experience I'm trying to bring onto my team, dude. Honestly, I think this is the reason why we asked you on the show this week was so that way we could figure this out about each other and put together a most gruesome twosome duo of elderly whooping teacher ass. Gruesome twosome duo of elderly whooping teacher ass. Anyway, we'll have to work on the catchphrase and the mission statement and all that. But Raysean, what do you think?
Did the teacher what were you trying to prove? Like after your little argument with the kid, did you feel like you accomplished something? Did you get something off your chest? Because
did you feel like the big strong man?
Like I just don't understand the whole. I'm gonna make this my mission to let this little girl know that's not your brother, and I'm gonna go when her dad comes in and asks me about it. I'm gonna tell them, well, I felt like this is something she should know. That statement right there, cool-headed Raysean would just want to choke the shit out of you. Like, where do you feel like you have the grounds and just authority to just be like, I feel like I should just tell, bitch, know your motherfucking place. Like, cause like, what? This was really strong, and I'm not surprised that principal fired you because they're probably looking like, what the fuck? Like, why die on this hill? And then, yes, I do agree with the other poster that there had to be some other shit because I just don't feel like the principal was like, we're gonna fire, because maybe it was a suspension or whatever, but it must have been some shit, and they just was like, you know what? The bitch just don't give a fuck. Like, we keep telling her, like, just think before you talk. Like, do you even care? Because even after this whole situation, do you even give a fuck? Are they siblings or not?
Yeah. Learning to think before you talk is kindergarten rule number 1. And if they don't even know about that, shouldn't be a kindergarten teacher, probably. Am I right, guys, or what?
Depending if you've done this for years, and the fact that just kids having 2 different names is the thing that just throws you off crazy. It's so crazy to me because I'm surprised. I know you've probably seen this before because it's possible. Like just how he was like, I could be her stepdad and she took her mom's name. You know what I mean? It's like different things possible that could have fucking happened. I just think I think the poster, you're not an asshole. Feel like the teacher, straight asshole. I wish the kid was a little bit more like, fuck you, who the fuck are you to talk this shit to me? The fact that the kid is telling you like, this is my dad, I live with them, that should have been enough. Like, okay, all right, Like, I don't have nothing else to say. Like, why are you trying to hurt this kid? Like, the dad is real nice to me, because to me, you would really have to say something for me just not to jump out of it, like jump and choke the shit out of you. Because
No,
it's
you're
like,
right.
who, like, what the fuck? Like, I felt like I should. Who are you? Like, bitch, oh man.
Yeah.
If you just don't have accreditations to be a teacher, you talking like you God right now, and that's what's pissing me off. I just don't like that. That's what it threw me.
I think
we don't even need the gruesome twosome. We just gotta let Raysean handle it. He'll beat the shit out of him.
I mean, Raysean does tend to trend toward violence in a lot of this advice. And you know what? In a lot of cases, I totally understand where he's coming from. I'm usually on.
I respect you so much for that, man.
Just come right out with it. Just be violent right off the shoot.
No other way to handle any situation in life.
I bet you $10 this girl is just quitting so she doesn't get fired, and she's not retiring from teaching or whatever. She's just gonna go find a job in another district where she hasn't fucked up a bunch anyway or already. Although who am I? I don't think the gender of this person is this teacher has ever said one time, so I'm just assuming it's a female teacher. Woe is me, not cool, dog. Additionally, I will say yes, this dude, the original poster must be a fucking saint, dude. He
must have wrote this post angry. You were still angry when you wrote this post.
I was going to say, patience of a saint, fucking spelling ability of a third grader, but we got the majority of the story, I think. And no, usually I'm on the side of teachers of this, because you always, like, I hear my dad is like the original, like, woke fucking teacher who turned all the kids gay, but because he put up a fucking, a LGBTQ flag in his classroom. He's a 7th grade reading teacher.
Your dad is the teacher that made all the kids gay?
Yeah.
Not the best lead-in sentence.
No,
just want you to know that before you go to any party.
No, he turned all the kids gay, and he has to hear about it all the time from like parent-teacher conferences and stuff. Not parent-teacher conferences, like people like going to the school board to complain about him and just stupid shit, like books he chooses to read. And
he turned all the kids gay.
Yeah, but like now that's been a real prevalent thing.
I look at you laugh every time somebody said that.
I'm serious. That used to be a not as
a flag turned them gay. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, it used to not be a super common thing like it is now in America over the last, say, 4 to 8 years, however long you want to quantify it as. But it's been happening to him since like early 2010s. Like, oh my God, 2 boys hugged in a book, and my 8th grader thinks he's gay now. You made him gay. Literally things like that. So usually the reason I say any of that is because I'm usually very much on the side of teachers, where parents, because they don't know how else to do things for their children, they think that fighting for their children, in this case fighting the educator in their life, is doing something for them. And a lot of times it's not. It's just parents who don't know how to fucking parent being assholes because that's the only thing they know how to do. In this case, though, I don't think this guy he's not a rich, entitled douchebag. He's a guy who did something very nice and taken in the 6-year-old and has continued to raise her over the course of her life. And now he's had this weird situation where this teacher, who probably shouldn't have been a teacher, maybe she just wasn't cut out for this line of work, but whatever reason,
sound like she a foster kid
for real. She's like, well, you don't have no mom, you don't have your dad, that's not your brother. And I can say that because I feel like I don't have a family or a brother either.
An authority complex over a group of kindergartners.
For real,
man. That's what I'm like. You really had to get one over on her, didn't you? Bitch, y'all don't have the same last name. Like, come on, get that energy down. You should have saved that for me. That's what I want. I want you to have that same energy you had for my kid in class in my face. Don't act different than the parent, the PTA, the meeting. Don't act different.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely not the asshole in this case. I think you're doing a great job trying to stand up for your kid, and that woman probably shouldn't. Again, I assume with gender, that person probably should not be a teacher. So if we haven't turned you off with all the beating up old people talk, like beating up old people has been a recurring theme in the last few weeks for us, man. I think we're just all mad at the elderly for like wrecking the fucking housing market and Social Security and shit. But whatever, make sure you like the video, come back tomorrow. We're going to be doing an Am I Wrong about reporting you're a masseuse because they called you a vampire.
That's interesting.
That's true.
I seriously cannot wait to read this post. I think it's my favorite one we've picked since Jesus porn the other day, Jesus fan fiction.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with Jesus porn, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and check that out.
Yeah, man.
So to you, dear listener, if you haven't,
Nah, I know. Jesus and Judas making out on the cross and shit, getting all holier than thou. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I've seen some of those pictures before, for sure.
The ones where they're making out on the cross.
Yep.
The fanfics.
The ones by Charlie314. Of course, I've seen them. He is a great artist.
So come back tomorrow. We'll talk about vampires and shit. And thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Subscribe, like the video, and advice.
And remember, don't be a butt cheek.